Kameme here. See just how well it can play against Tru4.
Now, I know Kameme, of course, known for his Mega Man, but he has a plethora of characters under his belt. You know, we've seen that Sheik among other characters as well. Let's see how he's able to handle the Shulk.
And it seems to be that he is favoring mobility of speed, which would make sense if he's used characters such as Sheik, where your ability to weave in and out of different characters' threat zones is very much important to kind of play a baiting punish play style. Very good punish on that unsafe nair on shield. That's a great habit to expose Shulk players of, as they're jumping right into you, hoping to get a good spaced aerial.
Now, even though Kameme, of course, probably doesn't have the same level of experience and time invested into this character as the others, there are subtle decisions that he's making and subtle differences and nuances in his play that kind of exude the level of a top player. You know, we can see the patient decision making after he gets a hit in certain situations.
That's definitely it, and that's definitely how you win with a character that you're not familiar with. It's just your understanding of the game, playing against the character, you will learn about them and how they maneuver. I know that there are many Shulks that you can watch, even Shuton having a Shulk as well, that you can learn to pick up just by watching how they play and using your other knowledge of the game, such as ledge trapping and neutral play.
And I did face Kameme in the Shulk bracket, actually, and he says he does actually play Shulk. I don't know how much, but you can tell he definitely does have some expertise with him. I mean, he did go for a Monado Purge there, so
he knows
something.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And using that knowledge to help him here. It's a very close game, very dangerous for both. Oh, and getting that fair, Tru4 taking the first stock.
Yeah, excellent catch on that jump coming out from Tru4. And again, that's the kind of gameplay that we see from Kameme, just waiting for Tru4 to opt for his defensive options and then punishing just by turning around.
And that is actually something that Shulk can very much succeed at, just using his disjoint, standing there waiting for the opponent to commit to a location where you can hit him with your very big sword. Kameme being patient, waiting for Tru4 to do for an option. Now, one thing I see, both of these players are opting for a much more grounded playstyle. A lot of Monado speed and a lot of perfect pivots, running, rollbacks, trying to space grabs and down tilts more than your typical jumping around Monado jump aerial Shulk.
The double fairs exchange from both players, almost hitting the up air, but Tru4 answering back. Oh, I love the attempt to try and maximize his damage with a tech chase right there.
Definitely. So that's one of the unfortunate things is Shulk. Oh, this could be air dodge read. Very good by Tru4. Unfortunately, not enough knockback there. He might have
got that sour spot of the up air.
That's unfortunate thing is that up air does have a very weak sour spot that doesn't have the insane knockback that we're used to. I don't know why, but it does. Now, Kameme.
Going for another attempt here.
Oh no. So that shield art is going to not do him much favor. Unfortunately, just wasting it as he goes off stage and has to recover with jump. And very good edge guard there by Tru4.
Yeah, forced Kameme into that situation where he really could only just drift into an exact position and try to go for the air slash, which meant very, very easy forward airs coming out from Tru4.
Definitely. And so we'll have to see if they opt to just continue going to FD. Again, I'd love to see a stage counter pick potentially. But I don't think that was a match that could go I think it was a match that could go either way. That was definitely not a solid stomping by any means. It'll be interesting to see if Kameme can take what he learned about Tru4 Game 1 and use it to use now.
Well, he's off to an early lead at the moment. Good stuff from Tru4, not giving him the air dodge. Down air could have put him in an awful situation.
That is one of the things that Shulks can do at low percent. One of their, I guess we would call cheesy's tactics, is those fair dares, especially if you have an exploitable recovery. Get you into a prime situation to then get dared again or potentially edge guarded for the stock. Tru4 there looking for a tech potentially roll in or neutral get up, but Kameme rolling away knowing that he doesn't have a great option to cover the roll away.
I'm loving Kameme's use of the reverse, the raw Nev, particularly in Monado speed, getting him so much mileage in this game in particular.
Ooh. Oh, that was a very unconventional Nair there, not putting hitboxes right where he needed them to be, and that's what you have to be careful of, is that even though Nair has huge hitboxes, Shulk has even larger hitboxes with Bear as well as Fair that can outspace them. You need to be careful with where they are. Oh, great up tilt there by Tru4, anticipating the jump from Kameme after the art activation.
Graceful, beautiful trap right there coming out from Tru4 as well. He's just maintaining this ledge pressure so effectively. Kameme's really having a hard time resetting neutral, finally, with his feet back on stage.
And now that was unfortunately a byproduct of Monado shield. Kameme could just run away from Tru4 at the ledge. If he couldn't properly pressure any sort of landing catch, the only option he would have would be a very leggy dash attack, which would not have rewarded him much even if he hit it.
Now, goes for up throw instead of down throw. Interesting decision right there.
Yeah, I don't know if he was going for a juggle situation. Shulk does have juggle tools, but in that situation you would think an edge guard would be more conventional. Now Kameme committing to an offensive option there, so Tru4 could just spare him away after he whipped his fair.
Now, I like the decision to go for down throw in that instance, likely because Tru4 was anticipating the back throw and he had that DI away ready.
Very much so. And because he used the up throw earlier, down throw was fresh. That is one thing that you really need to keep in mind with Shulk's kill throws, is that they do have the capability to kill, but not if they're stale whatsoever. They have a rather weak potential unless you're in Monado Smash and at considerable percents. So now we're back to a rather even game here.
37% tacked on to Tru4 from this Buster Kameme.
Definitely, and I like how Kameme just opted to go for the Buster throw and not go for an immediate follow-up, because that raw damage itself is its own reward. And if he could get Tru4 to commit to some poor defensive option, that could have been even more, but no matter what, he gained from that situation.
For his jump.
Oh, not snapping the ledge, Kameme. That could put himself in a bad situation. But Tru4 himself not snapping.
Wow.
Unfortunate, but double spot dodge there. And now in this situation, Buster versus Jump is very scary for the Jump art, as the damage increase from Buster is multiplied with the damage increase taken from Jump. Often get out of that for good reason. Okay, now Purge attempt, air dodge speed.
Kameme catching him with that back air right there. The ledge trapping situation just misses that grab. That could have been fatal, but the up tilt catching the jump. Beautiful stuff from Kameme. We got a 1-1 set.
That was a very good up tilt, just because Shulks have such a great habit of double jump, especially at the ledge in Monado jump. That up tilt has that huge disjoint, and it lingers a decent amount that it can catch that neutral get up. So now an interesting thing to note that you might have been seeing a lot of purges missing on Shulks here. And this is something that Get Shulks, one of the people who helped to the lab purge, has said that Shulk is actually one of the harder characters to purge just due to the way that his hitboxes are rather vertical after up throw. And so he usually opts to go for the buffer deactivation version just to help him get to Shulk faster and get that up air more into his body. So it is not very much the fault of characters. Shulk, just as a character, is hard to purge.
Yeah, quite a slim hurt box on this young man. As you mentioned, his the animation, the hit stun animation is quite vertically inclined. Of course, if you opt for the Monado Art buffer deactivation version of the Monado Purge, you are, of course, foregoing Monado Jump, which could help you in certain situations if the Purge misses.
As well, that's right. And so you're going to get that extra vertical boost, which will hopefully help you get into where Shulk's animation is a lot larger, his hurt box. Oh, wow, going for a raw run-up up smash there. Interesting, but getting the clank, so it wasn't too much of a risk.
Yeah, had he not traded with that hit from Tru4, he would have been able to get the stop right there with that up smash.
And now opting for smash in neutral is always very risky, just due to the damage decrease makes it so you cannot land very many hits on shield without the risk of getting punished.
A good jump away coming from Kameme this time.
And now, of course, another reason why Shulk is one of the harder characters to purge is just due to the fact that he has different Monado arts, which you always have to keep in your mind. It's bad enough that you have to think about all the different characters and your own Monado arts. You have to think about, can I perch him in this art? No, he's in shield, he's too high. Oh no.
Essentially 4 different ranges. You've got the vanilla, speed, and buster range. You've got the jump ranges. You've got the
smash art and the shield range.
Yep.
And of course, that can also work into the Shulk's advantage by using different Monado arts to stay out of Monado Purge range, similar to how you would with other hoo-haws in the game. Oh, a very risky Nair there from Tru4, trying to land back on stage. The front hit of Nair.
Oh, and the footstool, but he still had his jump. Good
that
stuff, Tru4 maintaining that.
Otherwise, that would have been the end of the stock. Now, that back air and smash art sent him flying across the stage at the speed of sound. And Tru4 answering in turn with an up tilt.
Immediately evening the game back up. Very, very close set so far between these two.
Getting 21% from a simple down throw to down tilt. Such great damage from Buster. They're waiting for Tru4's option there and opting for the back air. That's the sort of play you need to play in Buster. You aren't, even if you don't get the true combos, just getting those damage off of small hits.
Shulk's true combos while in Monado Buster are kind of minute in terms of the ranges, their effective ranges, but of course his ability to maintain advantage is so good just because he keeps you at his effective range the entire time.
And that's right, and even if you're in the advantage and say you're going for a confirm in Buster and the opponent managed to shield, that shield stun is going to help you not get punished from there, so it's just so great in that situation. And now Kameme opting for jump. Ooh.
One thing that I'm really enjoying about Kameme's play with Shulk is his usage of Nair, particularly Short Hop Rising Nair. It's not really something that you see too often from the other Shulks, but Kameme is really making it work effectively in this matchup because he knows how much Shulk wants to be in the air.
Definitely, and that's something that you're going to know as a player who plays against Shulks, not as a Shulk main. You know how Shulks play from an outsider's perspective, and you know how to take advantage of them from an outsider's perspective. Now, great jab combo there, getting Tru4 off stage, waiting for the air dodge, and that is going to be the stock.
Excellent stuff coming out from Kameme, proving to everyone that his Shulk is definitely the real deal here.
And it'll be interesting to see how he fares against our other Shulks, and if he can